Yeah, so I think we'll start with the session right now.
Okay.
So yeah, so welcome everyone to the first session of the 2021 January batch for online tutorials. So we'll begin in this session by just discussing about what is RoboCup at home education, a little bit about what we do, service robotics, and then also an overview of the outline for the next 5 weeks, the 10 classes that will happen for your batch. So first I would invite Jeffrey to talk a little bit about at home, just introduce it briefly, and then we'll move into the presentation.
Right, maybe I just turn on. Okay, hi. So good evening. So I guess the time for me is evening over here. So I hope you can see me and hear me clearly. Everything is okay. So first of all, I would like to say welcome for all of you. I'm not sure how many of you already attended our event or activities before. So for those already joined us before, so welcome back, and for all the new participants, so welcome to this RoboCup at home education online tutorial. Right. So first I would like to thanks Karam as a representative from Indian Regional Committee of RoboCup at home education to organize and to run this event over here. So he already done this 2 sessions last year. Now, so for 2021, so we kickstart for a new session on this starting from this January. So hopefully we can gather more people, more new people to join, as we are going to announce our international event soon. So I'm waiting for the signal from RoboCup Federation to make the announcement. So along with that, so I hope this session will help, especially new teams, to pick up some skill or some know-how to build the robot and also to join the competition. So hopefully we can grow. I mean, with this session, we can actually enable more people to join these activities, especially to learn how to build robots, to learn about AI and also robotics in a very practical and hands-on manner. Along the way, we will show you how things done in a very step-by-step way, and also to introduce all the tools, especially those open source and freely available tools around that will help you in your development. So I really hope that you can get more people to join, because this session is free and we're using free online tools to broadcast this information. So our purpose is to outreach all this information in a very free manner to more people. Yeah, we really hope that we can outreach to more people. So we hope you to help us to bring this to your community, and that is our, because for us the effort will be the same. Like for Haram, he will talk the same effort, no matter it's 5 or 50 people join, so it'll be the same. But we also try to balance out the quality of the delivery as well, because if 50 or 500 of you, then things will be a bit different to handle. So now the size is just nice, I would say. So you have any question, we can give you one-to-one support. So I hope you grab this opportunity and try your best to follow whatever that's delivered here by yourself, because it's it's not really self-learning, but it's a guided, but it requires a lot of initiative from your side to actually do the exercise, do the practice, so that you can really pick up the things that we deliver over here. So I wish you good luck, and please stay with us, and also invite your peer and your community to join us. And hopefully later on, as this session go on, we can give you more information about what other activities that we are going to do in this new 2021 year. Okay, right. So thanks, and enjoy the class. Right, so I'll pass back to Haram for the rest of the session.
Yeah, Jeffrey, thank you so much for the introduction. And as you said, this will be very personalized, and that is one of the main motivations for doing online tutorials, which is a little bit different format wise compared to the challenge that happens in the workshop that's in person, and last year it was online. So the format is different. We are trying to do more guided one-on-one help, especially because many of you are new, and even I was new. I think 3 years ago when I started, just first event for at home, I went without any knowledge, and then in one event we learned quite a bit. So the thing is, in a competition, sometimes the close feedback, personalized feedback for each one to make sure that you are going through all the steps, that might not be possible. But in like how to say, so that is the aim of the online tutorials, to do it in a personalized manner. So we'll go into the slides right now. So yeah, this is the first, 1 second, yeah, there it is. So this is the outline of the 10 sessions that are planned. So the content that will be covered here would be the very basics of what would be done in the competition or in the online classroom. So this will give you a very brief and basic idea of what we do in at-home education, and then it will put you in a position where you can then explore further on your own. So with minimal guidance, and obviously if there's anything else further, then you can use our Facebook forum and other things. The links will be there in the presentation. So yeah, now looking at the agenda, the first few sessions over here, you can see session 2 to 4. We'll be looking at the installation that will be done for Ubuntu, ROS, and Matlab, the 3 software components we'll be using. The hardware aspect would just be all on the simulator right now, but in real life also you'll be using the turtlebot platform, and there's not too much of a hardware setup for that. So the main setup that has to be done in software, it could be a little bit tricky to get it done. So that's why we are having 3 sessions. So everyone by the end of the 4th session should be on the same page, and each of these sections would be used to like solve any problems that come up or answer your doubts during the installation process. So suppose at the end of today's lesson, we'll give you some work to do on the installation of Ubuntu, and then in the second session, we'll then look at any problems that arise and try to fix those. So that's for the first sessions, and from session number 5 onwards, what we'll be looking at is each of the basic components that are there in a robot, in the service robot that we're trying to build. So the speech, the navigation, the vision, all of these different parts. We will be using ROS for some of them and Matlab for other parts. So admit. Yeah. So now first we might have the question about what is service robotics. So the way to define service robotics is that it's when you have a robot that is also having a interactive part where it is communicating or interacting with the environment or with other people. So those are the kind of examples that you see over here, and the robots, they have very different functions, and then also different shapes and sizes that they come in. So like on the bottom left, you can see we have the Abo robot, which is like a dog-like robot from Sony. And then you have the Seal, you have more humanoid forms of robot, like the Pepper and the Toyota HSR below it. So these are actually some of the robots which are used in the RoboCup at home, the major competition in which university teams participate. These are some of the standard robots which are used there. So the robot we'll be using is not quite like this. we will be using the turtlebot, which is shown by the Roomba base over here. So the reason we're not actually using robot like Pepper can be seen using this diagram here. So on one axis, we have the cost of each robot and also the usefulness, that is the direct applicability of what you're developing on the robot to a real life situation. So on the left, on the bottom left, if you look, you have the Lego Mindstorm CV3, Vex, Arduino, Raspberry Pi, these kind of things that you might get started with when you're doing robotics. So they're low cost platforms and very good for prototyping, but they don't have that much of a direct use in real life. So if you have a Lego robot that you build, the size of the robot is such that you can't actually use it for some use in your home or in the office spaces. On the other hand, you have these very expensive robots like the Pepper, or on the extreme top, the PR2. They're research robots. So the development that's done on these robots is very useful, but it's not going to be very practical because of the high cost. So what we use, the platform, it forms it's like right in the middle in terms of cost, and then also the applicability directly to real life situations. So what you learn during this course would be the basic building blocks, what we saw before. So these components then can be integrated together to form an actual solution for a task which can be done. So a little bit about at home before we move into the more software and the robot itself. So this is a video over here. I won't play the video right now, but I'll send the link over for you to see it on Teams. So basically it introduces the RoboCup at home, and then about what RoboCup's vision is. So maybe I can just skim through the video here. But essentially RoboCup at home is a league in RoboCup that was started to look at a bit more practical approaches, because RoboCup initially started with soccer, and although soccer is very fun and a good problem to solve, it's not very directly applicable to something that you see in daily life. So for that, RoboCup at home was started, and so you have robots like these which solve tasks in the home. So things like getting groceries, or just being a host for a party, or even guiding people around the home, or putting up the table, or cleaning the dishes. Things like these are tasks which are handled by these robots. So yeah, so you can just go through this video to see a little bit about the different robots which are used in the at home, RoboCup at home, that is the university competition. So what we'll be doing is trying to make a robot that can do the same functionality, but using much more open source materials, and which are also a little bit easier to access, and also because it's open source, they would be free of cost, of course. So now the turtlebot, the Roomba base that I showed before, is basically what is at the bottom of this robot here. And then, yeah, so the video will play. So this is in fact Jeffrey's team looking at which, one second. We play the video. Well, okay, so I'll just keep it like that. So the robot over here is taking in orders by interacting with the person, and then the person is ordering the robot to follow it. So it's following the person and also avoiding any obstacles which might be there, such as the door or just going through the narrow passageway. And you can see over here that the robot already has a map of the area it is going to go in. So this is a known area. And so now when the robot is going to stop and the person will ask it to take the bag, and the person will also say which location to take it to. So over here, the robot is now going to behave completely autonomously, and it is going to remember the exact location it has to go to and then navigate there, also avoiding anything that might come along the way. So this is the task, one of the tasks I would say that is there in RoboCup at home, the competition. And so that is now being solved using this robot, which is based on the turtlebot. So here is another example. This is in the navigation. Yeah, so there we go. So this is the map that I showed before, but now the robot will go to another place or the person will then point it to. So this is done on the screen only here, but then it could be like done autonomously through voice command as we saw before, or even other forms such as looking and following an object or something like that. So we'll in fact be learning how to make a map like this and make the robot navigate in a map. So you can see the robot. I think there's a slight lag. So let's just see if it'll. Yeah, there we go. So you can see the robot and there's a small red line across the map. So that is the path that the robot has made to go from its current position to its goal position. So these are just some of the things which have been developed using this platform and also extending it. So instead of just having the base, to build an entire robot which can perform these tasks. So now looking at the robot itself, we can see that the base that we saw before. So this is like a vacuum cleaning robot base, but without the vacuum cleaning parts. So it has two wheels, it can move around. It also has a lot of sensors in it for acceleration, the velocity of the wheels, and then also some other things like a bump sensor on the front, IR, or like drop sensors to see if the wheels suddenly fall down. That means the robot is at like a cliff or a stair or something, and then it should not go forward. Then moving up, we see that there is a camera, not quite visible here, but that's an Xbox Kinect camera that we use. You can use any other camera that is RGB depth. So it should have the color image coming out of it and then also the depth image. And then we have the arm that you can see labeled D over here. So this arm is again completely open source and it can be used by the robot to grab things and manipulate. So that is just grab something from the table, hold it, take it back to a person, or place it in another location. We also have things like speakers, the mic, and then also a screen in case we want to see something like that, in case the robot has to show the human something, or either for the user or for us when we're like debugging the robot, and in those cases. We also have E over here, which is not quite shown, but that is the laptop that is usually kept in the robot. So we use laptop because you can just use laptop without the robot for doing it in simulation and then just plug it in, because there's not too much of a effort that you need to keep to move your development of code from simulation to the actual robot. So if you develop anything now or even later on, and when you do get access to a robot, you need to change a few lines of code maybe, and then everything will just work. Yeah, so this is a little bit more about the specific technology or like packages, as we call them here in ROS or Ubuntu or Matlab, that will be used for each of these parts of the robot. So we already talked about human robot interaction, then and also the navigation part we saw. Another thing over here would be the perception part, that's the robot vision. This we will be doing very much in detail. I think we have around 3 sessions just for doing the vision part. And then also we'll be going a little bit into the AI machine learning, not into actually coding an AI, but then implementing a pre-trained neural network for image recognition tasks. The only thing we won't be covering in the workshop would be in the online tutorials would be the robot arm, that's object manipulation. It's because it's a little bit tricky to start, and you can do most of the tasks without object manipulation. Like for example, asking a person to place an object on the robot instead of the robot actually picking it up. So with minor modifications like that, you can do more or less the entire task. Yes, so now we have, again, what I was just explaining, the hardware and the software, but now in 2 categories to see what is the difference between the online classroom or online tutorials that we're having now and the in-person workshop. So as you can see, there's not much of a difference, except for that some parts would be now simulated, like the robot platform and the arm. But as I said, you don't need to worry too much about it being in simulation, because you can still interact with the robot how you would interact with it in real life. So now exploring each of the software components that we have. The first is ROS. So the full form of ROS is actually Robot Operating System. Essentially what it is it's a middleware that is going to ease a lot of the otherwise difficult or painful tasks that we'll have to repetitively do every time. So what it does is it will provide the drivers for using different sensors, that will be cameras, lidars, microphone, speakers, and then also the different actuators, that will be the mobile base we're having, the arm, all these kinds of things. And then also it will provide some of the pre-written packages that we discussed for, as you can see, the capabilities: control, planning, perception, mapping, manipulation. So the example packages would be there that we'll get started with, and then you can obviously build on top of that or use other packages which are available. So these are all benefits of ROS being open source. Then also we have some of the plumbing that's in here. I think a better word to describe it would be the connections between the, not just connecting to the devices, but for the communication between different parts. So suppose you have a program that is doing the vision part, and then you have another program that's doing the speech part, and you want them to talk to each other. Then in that case, the communication is already built into ROS. So we can directly take use of that instead of spending time on building our own communication protocol and then all of the software surrounding that. And then also lastly, we have the ecosystem, that is people who are using ROS. So it's not just used in for RoboCup at home, but in fact it's used for most of robotics. On the top, you can see on top of the turtle, the different robots. So you have all the way from drones to the mobile robots to even the self-driving cars which use ROS. So a wide range of robots would use it. So it will be useful not just for the purposes of RoboCup, but in general in robotics. If you want to later on do something, then it will definitely come handy. The next thing we'll be using would be Matlab. So on the left is a few features of Matlab, but essentially what we'll be using Matlab for is, now that ROS is providing most of the functionality, in Matlab it will be we could use the so Matlab would be used to perform some of the things we saw in ROS, like the mapping or navigation, the vision, or even the object manipulation. But Matlab is much more suited for computation intensive tasks, which is exactly what we'll be doing when we're looking at image processing. So that is why we'll be using Matlab. And another thing is you have similar to ROS, the packages which are available, and then also sample code and documentation specific to at home, the tasks that we'll be doing, and then also otherwise. So you can use those resources too. So now this is the simulator that we'll be using. As I said, it won't be the exact same as in-person robot, but then it does come quite close. You actually see over here on the image one of the teams from at home performing their tasks. So you can create a very realistic scenario with this is a living room scenario where you have cupboard, you have people in fact that you can control, and then you have the objects, the table, chairs, all kinds of things. And so this does to a great extent provide you with a flexible area where you can test your robot without actually having the robot hardware. This is helpful when you don't have the hardware, and also if there are many people in a team and one robot, and say there are 5 people who want to develop code for it, they can all develop in simulation and then test on the robot. Yeah, so this is a bunch of links for the resources that I was saying. So because it's open source, you can find a lot of the sample material tutorials online. So some of the links are for the at-home education, and also our GitHub page where we have the sample code for ROS and Matlab, which we'll be downloading later on in the upcoming sessions. And then also we have different forum links. So apart from this session, if you have any more doubts later on, then you can use the At Home Edu Facebook group, or even the ROS wiki and the Ubuntu forum, and then you have similar forums for more specific softwares, like Matlab will have its own forum, Gazebo will have a forum. So over there you could look up if you're stuck at a particular problem and don't know how to go ahead, because many times errors do come up and we don't know how to go ahead and work, like how to resolve the error. So in that case, they'll be helpful. We'll actually be doing one quick example right now. So later on, we'll need to run this particular line to do one of the installations. So we're not running it right now, but just hypothetically, when we're running it, if in case we have an error like this, where you're told, so we'll just read through it first. That's the most important thing, to know whether we have an error or not. The last line tells us unable to correct problems, you have held broken packages. That definitely seems like there's some error. Now to know what exactly the error is and to find out what could be a solution for this, because it's open source, many people might have already faced the same error. So if you just try to find look online for the same error, you can either just type in the situation what you were doing, so like ROS install error broken packages, something like that, or you can even copy paste the last line of the error or something from before, like you have unmet the following packages have unmet dependencies, and then maybe ROS Indigo desktop full, that much. So you have to be the art over here is to actually know what to search for, and the actual solution would then be easily seen. So like if we search in this case, one of the first results that we see is to the ROS answers page. So that's where the ROS discussion happens, and many of the answers or like solutions to some of these problems are posted. So this one you can see, so I took 2 screenshots of the same page, but the one on the left is what you see on the top. So you have the description of what problem they were facing, and if you just quickly go through the message, you see that it's quite similar to the one we saw. And now you can even go on to see the answers, and so this is the first answer which comes up, which is the most helpful answer, and we can try out what is given over here. So it's not just the line of code which is going to solve the issue, but then there's also a lot of explanation that people give. And then if you scroll even further down on the link, you will have more answers or more discussion as to any further problems which could be solved in the same topic. So these are really helpful even for us, me and Jeffrey. Sometimes if a problem does come up that we are not familiar with, then we might even search online. So there's nothing wrong with searching online. It's just because it's open source, that something that is one of the benefits. So now the actual homework for today's class would be to set up Ubuntu before the second class, that is the discussion of any problems that we face during the setup. You'll actually need to try the setup on your own. So the links are here for downloading. The only thing is that many ways of downloading. Ubuntu will be using the 16.04 LTS version. So it has a little bit more long time support, and then also that is what we have been using for a long time right now. So people have been using it, and the packages and everything for the turtlebot would all be tested and ready to go. So if you use a future version or like a more outdated version that is not 16.04, then there might be some additional problems which could be solved, or sometimes there might be problems which will then mean that you have to do the install again. So that will be a lot of waste of time. So we just recommend you to go ahead with this 16.04 version. And even within this, you have the dual boot and the virtual box, both of which could be done. We recommend dual boot. Because with dual boot, it's a little bit more safer and reliable. In virtual box, it could like crash at times, just randomly crash, or there could be some little bit, it could be slow because it's like running a virtual OS within your primary OS, which would most likely be Windows. So last two batches, there were many people who did try VirtualBox also. It worked for them, except for the occasional crash. It could work. So both approaches you could use. Only thing is you also have the Mac version for dual boot, which is quite similar to the Windows version, but there's another link. So if anyone is using a Mac, I'll just add the link to here, or I can just post it on the chat. Yeah, so one disclaimer here is the links over here are given. They provide like guide of how to install it, but the specific requirements of the size of the partition you need to make, and for VirtualBox, the allotments for the processor and the RAM and those kind of things might be a little bit different compared to what we need for the RoboCup at home purposes. So for that, you should look at the videos. They'll be there on the website if you search for it. There are two videos. So one would be the first video, in which it explains basically the specifications for the laptop that you need, because it does have to be a laptop with enough CPU power primarily, and maybe a GPU also, which could handle simulation, the Gazebo simulator and Matlab running at the same time. Both of you are a little bit intensive programs, so we don't want the laptop to like lag or crash because of that. So find a proper laptop so that's what will be explained in the first video. And then the second one will be the actual installation process. So yeah, that is the task to do before next class. And obviously back up your data in case you're doing a dual boot. They're most likely, like 99% of the times, there's not any problem. There won't be a problem, but just in case, just back up the important data. And yeah, so I think that's the end of the presentation section. So now we will take any questions that you might have, and yeah, just we'll discuss for some time.
Right, thanks, Salem. Okay, so I think like maybe we can spend some time. I'm not sure, like maybe we can talk to the people in the list to see like if they are no, so that we get to know each other. At least like we know some of their background, whether they have learned before or what experience they have, and also like maybe can hear like what they're looking for or what they expect from joining, because like maybe they just look at the poster and sign up and they have some expectation which is different from what we are talking about here. So I think like maybe you can spend like some time to actually talk to all of you in the list. Yeah, we would like to make this session more interactive. So any of you that would like to talk to us, yeah, we appreciate, like, yeah, you can turn on your microphone now, and even if you're willing, you can turn on your webcam so that we can talk face to face in this virtual setting. I think this is one of the way that we feel less formal to talk to each other in this kind of setting. So that the purpose is to make this a more enjoyable session, I guess. Right, so that we can know each other and we learn along the way. Right, so any of you in the list, I'm not sure like you are still in front of your PC or laptop. So if you're interested to talk to us, yeah, feel free to turn on your mic at least so that we can chat a little bit on this first session. Yeah, because like later on, today might be, the content might be a bit more relaxing because like we're not doing anything. We're not solving any problem and we don't have any bugs and so on. But later on, we might have more heavier stuff. So maybe it's good that we can spend some time that we can talk to each other. And also, I would like to know like where are you from and what you want to do with all these materials. And I really hope that to know more about your community so that we can do something that will be benefit or some things that you need it in your community. Haven't got anyone in the list that you know?
I actually don't know anyone in this, like in the July batches, there were in second batch some people who I knew, but
okay.
Yeah. So
okay.
All people over here. So
yeah,
maybe we go.
Yeah, we can talk to anyone. Just turn on your mic and we can talk to each. Yeah, we can have some chat over here. Anyone? Just to make sure that you are still on the line. I'm not sure. Maybe you just log in and that's it.
Yeah, it's not a serious question and answer. It's just to get to know about what previous experience, like in the when you registered, you said what you had some experience before with robotics and programming, but just a bit more detail if you could say, then that will help with like presenting the material or just helping you out in a way. Like if you already had some experience with Ubuntu before, then maybe in the install part you won't need so much of help. You will be able to do it on your own. So, and you can also help other people out. So things like that, just to get to know. Not just even for
just make a simple introduction about yourself. Anyone in your list? Just introduce yourself. Like, where are you from? Like, which organization are you from? Anyone? Everyone is a bit shy on this kind of platform.
I definitely have to start with.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yes, Arif.
Okay. Yes. I am Arif. So I am from Malaysia.
Yes.
Currently, I'm an undergraduate student, bachelor in mechanical engineering.
Okay.
So Before this, I take diploma before
Okay.
I pursue bachelor. So I have a little bit experience using Arduino
Okay.
for my final year project.
Okay.
But actually, about this program, what I mean is this RoboCup at home.
Mm-hmm.
I I don't have any expectation
Okay.
because I just only saw my lecturer share the link, so I just want to try.
Okay.
That's
Right.
it.
Okay. So may I know like from which uni or college are you from?
Oh, yes. I am from University Tenaga Nasional or
Oh, okay. You're
National
from
Energy.
United.
Yes.
I see. So
Nah.
who sent you the information? Is it like Zafri?
No, no, no.
Uh,
Uh,
which one? I was from
Sir
United.
Rafi.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. I
So I would
see.
like to know like who actually like sent out the information so that I can connect
Oh,
with them.
okay. Sir Rafi, Rafi Khairuddin.
I'm not so sure.
But I know also Sir Zafri because I
Okay, yeah.
joined one of his workshop about AI.
Okay, right. Yeah, because I don't know how the link actually reach your supervisor or your lecturer.
Uh, he shared through his Facebook. I
Oh,
friend with
okay.
him.
So
Yes, Facebook.
maybe he got it from our Facebook group, I guess.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
because
think
we
so.
posted there. Yeah, yeah. Because okay, so just to share with you, like I was United alumni. So Zafri was my peer during that time, and also after that he went to Japan, and I was in Japan as well. So we started robotics in Uniten back in those days, and I really hope like we can have more active robotics group from Uniten. So hopefully like after you listen to this, you can bring back this information back to your institution. And just for your information, so you are from mechanical background. So just for your information, I was also from mechanical engineering. So what we are doing here is more on service robot development. So this at home is basically built service robot. I think Herlem already explained just now in the lecture. But what may be more concern to you is like we really need, I mean like this event actually promote a lot of technical or technology development in various disciplinary from the robot design. So because inside this league or this RoboCup at home league in RoboCup competition, so it have one category which is the open platform. So we are encouraged or it promote us to actually design the robot or different kind of mechanism for service robot. So as a for mechanical, yeah, I can see like there are many things that you can do in this competition or this development. But apart of that, because now everyone is talking about AI, mechatronics, and all those things, and people are start to build more intelligent stuff. So for mechanical engineering, I don't think like we still stay on the day that we build just machine, but now we talk more about intelligent machine. So how to make your machine more intelligent. So maybe like you add more sensors, you have a lot of feedback, you how to say you study on the control, and now we even do it AI. So we add AI into the machine to make it more intelligent. And all this addition to make the mechanical system more intelligent or more smart is something that we talk about in these activities, this RoboCup at home. Because like, although the theme is about building service robot, but not necessarily by the end goal is like we expect everyone to build service robot. Because many of the participants, they actually like, they want to learn about vision system. They want to learn about navigation system. They want to learn about manipulator and so on. So these are all the things that we do in this. It's just service robot is as a whole to give a general theme that everyone can integrate into each other, right? But based on whatever your expertise or things that you want to focus on, I think you can find your position in these activities, and also you can see how you can actually integrate with other parts. in the engineering aspect, and also how you want to position yourself in the industry as well. For example, like you learn about mechanical, but eventually in your workplace, you are going to work with different engineers in electronics, electricals, and so on. And you might work with IT people and even non-technical people like psychology, finance, and medical, and so on. So this service robot actually have a more, how to say, general overview that link to many different kind of development because this service robot actually is a very broad topic that link to daily life, human daily life development, right? So you are built robots to talk about how to assist people in daily life. So we talk about all kind of aspect in human daily life. So you can see how the things that you develop inside here, the technical part, and also how this technical part actually play a role in a bigger system. So hopefully by joining, you can see more than what I just said. Like along the way, you can see like maybe in the first few earlier lecture, like we have the speech and speech interaction, vision interaction, and you can see how those things relate to daily life and also those things relate to technical development. So here, I think is a good platform that you can see all these things. Okay, so hopefully like you can learn more. Okay, so can we have other people in the list that do some self-introduction? Anyone? Anyone? I'm not sure you're still there. Just turn on your mic. No need to be shy because like you no need to turn on your webcam. We are not going to see you anyway. Yeah, just turn on your mic and say hello to us.
Because anyway, during the next sessions, as Jeffrey mentioned, when we do more intensive work, we will anyway have to talk.
Yes.
Because it's all about understanding how much you're able to do, where there might be some problem, and trying to fix that when the problem comes up, instead of holding on to it and then later on 1 month later saying, oh, I was not able to do it. So like step by step, all of us, we go at the same pace. So then there won't be any problems later on, which we'll need to go back and take more time to fix and like that.
Yep, anyone? So please turn on your mic. Anyone?
Hi.
Hello.
Hello. Hi. Yeah, this is MGM, also from Malaysia.
Okay.
I'm currently studying the Bachelor in Electrical Engineering at UTM, University Technical Malaysia Melaka. And
okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So this event was introduced by my lecturer.
Okay.
And so for me personally, I don't have any experience in robotics, but I learned about image processing by using Matlab. I'm really looking forward to learn in this online tutorial and possibly enjoy the competitions that you said you can conduct.
Oh, okay, okay. Yes. So yeah. Welcome from you, Tem, right? From in Malacca. Yeah, I think it's Malacca. May I know your supervisor? Is it Sue?
No, Dr. Chong Shin Hong.
Oh yes. So yeah, I went to your college before and talked about all these things before, and I really welcome. I mean, yeah, I know like some of you actually very expert in vision. So you use the vision system to do a lot of like monitoring, people tracking and object recognitions and so on. And you're using Matlab. So I guess like Helen got a lot to share with you because he's an expert in Matlab now. And we use a lot of Matlab in our vision class. And we will talk about a lot and even like deep learning, right? If I'm not mistaken, like we actually use some public available data set. And we have the machine learning framework that available in Matlab, so that we can use all those things to do the training and also to do the recognition and some prediction, for example, estimation, for example, the age, the gender, and all those things. So those are the things that I think will be very related to you. So maybe like if you have anything you want to ask or anything you want to share, yes, later on I think like you can talk to Helen directly about all these things. And also I welcome you for the competition as well, because like this year, okay, I can't say it like officially because it's not official yet, but what I want to tell you, like this year most probably it will be a virtual competition. So yeah, you can join. I mean like open for everyone in the world to join, and it becomes easier to join. Actually, the virtual one is easier to join because you no need to actually have a lot of funding for your travel and stuff. But all you need to do is just focus on your development, and we will find a mechanism how you want to present your idea or present your development for the competition. But that one we'll talk later. But definitely, I can how to say ensure you that if you follow this and you follow the development, the things that you learn here will be very related to your development for the competition. So which means whatever that you gain here, you can use it for the competition. So I hope you can continue stay with us and try to pick up and also get ready and prepare yourself for the competition. Okay? Okay, thanks a lot. And yes, it's good. Okay, so
Jeffrey, to add
yes.
on,
Yeah, you can talk.
Coming over here would be like how to say the building blocks, like the different parts, like the speech, the vision, navigation. We will do the different parts, and then you can do on your own the integration, which is even for the competition. When it used to happen in person, it was the same. So we were taught the different parts, and then it's the task of the team to actually put them together and solve the tasks which are given. So that part is, so we do a little bit of it here of how to interface, but the main is on the team to actually do the interfacing part between the different components.
Right. Okay, so can we have the next person? Next person in the list, anyone? Just turn on your mic and yeah, just introduce yourself. No need to feel worried. Just yes, yeah. Yes, Wong.
Hello, can you hear me?
Okay, maybe you need to speak a bit louder because like I can't really hear you.
My mic got a bit close.
Louder, a bit more nearer to your mic.
Really near, really. Hello.
I can't really hear you. Yeah, you need to shout a bit.
Maybe you need to change the settings of your mic. The gain maybe is too low.
Yeah, it's too low.
How about now?
Okay, yeah.
Now okay.
Okay.
Okay. I'm from Malaysia. The friend of the guy is here.
Wong, I can't hear you. You have to talk louder. I already turned max my volume. Oops. Got problem. Okay.
Oh, no problem. Well, we'll see if you can maybe fix the problem, and we'll come back to you.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyone else? Arush? No.
Hi, I'm Arush and I'm in grade 9 currently. So I got to know about RoboCup like from my IT teacher. Like the RoboCup, there was one session I think before this also. So I was going to enroll in that, but then I got a bit late. So when the new thingy started, I got an email from my teacher and I registered. I was actually a bit interested in learning more about robots and programming.
Sorry, where are you from?
India.
I know, yes. Which institution or any place that you don't know?
It's Shivnagar school.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
So who was your teacher who sent you the link?
Nitesh, sir.
Ah, okay. In fact, in January last year, we had an in-person workshop in Shivnagar school in Gurgaon. So Jeffrey had traveled that time to instruct at the workshop, and yeah. So we had, I think, 7 teams or something. No, 5 or 6 teams that time. Some were from high school and some were even university team, and so that's a good thing. It's always there's a mix between different age groups and also different backgrounds in robotics or programming that are there. So it's nice how everybody can still work on and like learn about service robotics. So even myself, when I got started, I just knew about the Lego Mindstorms robotics, and then I attended the Atom Education competition workshop events for two times, and after that, then I moved more into the like this online tutorials and the teaching part. So even once you go through some and get some familiarity with what is happening in at home and at home education, then very much we would love you to like outreach the same material in your community. So because the entire point of this is to make more people aware and yeah, spread the awareness about the new technological developments that are happening, because most people they learn until say EV3 or Arduino, and then after that they think, oh, that there's no more to learn in robotics right now. If we go, it'll be too deep, too technical. But the point is to show that you don't need to go too technical. Even for this right now, the programming aspect that we'll be doing. So Python we won't be using too much, and even in Matlab you can start without any knowledge and then still be able to run the programs, because most of them are already written. We won't do too much of writing. We might change a few things within the code. So it'll be like changing a variable name or just the values and things like that. So those kind of changes you can do without knowing how to the programming language that we'll be using. So yeah. Yeah, so anyone else wants to introduce themselves a little bit?
Bạn nhé thì can get from or he after able to get this discuss organize this course I also from University Information Master. Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, welcome. Okay.
Yeah,
right.
So I think we covered everyone over here.
Okay, yes. Yeah, so I would like to know, like, for all of you, I'm not sure, like just now, Miriam already assigned some assignment to you, and that is very important. Is because like if you didn't prepare your system, it's very hard for you to continue the class after this. So it is very important for you to actually follow in the first few classes, especially to set up the system. And I would like to say, like, you might face quite a number of problems. That's why like we prepared the 3 weeks as a start for you to do that. So just in case you can't do it, okay? Just in case you can't do it, don't worry, and please join us even though you can't do it, because we are going to how to say, listen to your problem. So what you need to do is you need to try, okay? So you need to try. If you don't try, nothing is going to happen. So you need to try. And from the information that just now on the slides are very brief, okay? So you need to do a lot of information searching after this, because like all laptop will give you a different type of error or different type of problems. So we cannot expect everything for you. So all we need you is to try to achieve something that we tell you. For example, like install Ubuntu, whether you want to do it in a dual boot way or in a virtual box or virtual machine way. But I would suggest that if you are less confident to do the dual boot, you can start with the virtual machine. Okay, because virtual machine, as long as you got enough hard disk, you can do it, and you can erase it anytime. So don't worry, you just try. Okay, so what you need to do is follow the guide in the YouTube. Okay, and you just try. At least you get a feel on how it is done. Okay, although in between you might face a lot of problem. So what you need to do is record down whatever that you encounter. Okay, you got this error, you got this problem, and so on. Just how to say, record down everything and bring the problem to the next session. So what you need is you come here and you tell us what is the problem that you face, and we will help you. Okay, so this session is more like a tutorial. That's why the name is called tutorial. Okay, it's not like a lecture, so it's different. It's more like a tutorial, which means Haram will be your tutor that will help you to solve all these problems. So I think this is one of the way that is a different from online lecture, which is we just give you and everything is up to you. It's not like that, but we are more and we try to help you by guiding you and also try to see if we can help you in terms of the question that you face. Okay, so please attempt the things that Haram just said and record down whatever that you face, any difficulty or problem, and bring all those things to the next session so that we can discuss together. Okay, then we will help you to see how. Okay, but I think for the virtual box is quite straightforward. I think that one you have 90% above that you can succeed. You will succeed. Okay, but for the dual boot it's a bit tricky because like especially you have older or very new laptop, then it will have problem. If you have something in between, like okay, just nice laptop and quite standard big brand and not too latest, because if you bought your laptop is like last month, then maybe you have some driver issues and so on. So which is we can't have one solution to solve everything, because like all laptops have very different configuration and so on. So all you need to do is you try and you bring your question to us. Okay, so we are going to solve it together, so don't worry. Okay, but you need to do it. Okay, you need to attempt it. If you didn't attempt, then nothing is going to happen, and you're not going to learn anything. Okay, right? And not just install Ubuntu, although install Ubuntu may be one of the most difficult step actually. After these things will be much easier. Okay, so you need to go through this first step. Especially, I'm not sure about your background, like whether you have tried Ubuntu before or you're totally new. But what I want to say is like you are not alone. Okay, you just try and come to us next week. Okay, and to make you feel more motivated to do all those things, ask your peer and do it together. Okay, bring more people and join our class and do it together. Especially those people like you told me that you want to join the competition. You are going to join the competition in a team. Okay, it's not like you alone can attempt the whole task. You need to be a team. So now is a very good timing that you bring your whole team into this tutorial to start learning. Okay, especially those that you aim to join the competition for this year, which is 2021 challenge. Make sure you bring your teammate or whoever that's going to be your team to join this session. Okay, it's very important, because if you don't start now, you don't have enough time to finish the development. Okay, so make sure you try, attempt the assignment, and ask your peer, everyone in your team, to come and listen to this online tutorial. Okay, right. So I guess that's all from me. So maybe I pass back to Haram and see you want to write out the session.
Yeah, so I just share my screen with the online tutorials website. So the link was sent when we sent the link for the meeting. So over here you'll find all of the content of previous lectures and also the slides. So like if you go for the first session, you have the slides that were there and also a video of a previous class that happened last year. So like this online tutorials, the previous batches. And then also you have these videos that Jeffrey was just mentioning. These are for the dual boot, but for VirtualBox also you can find similar materials if you search, or just ask on the chat on the team over here, like the configuration of the laptop you have, if you have any problems or if you're trying to try something, then even we can also just look and give any feedback immediately without waiting for next week's session. And the part where Jeffrey was telling to document whatever problems you're facing, it's not too complex. It's very simple. You can just take your phone and take a picture, or just take a screenshot of the screen when you're doing that particular step and of what the problem was. Because as I explained in the slides before, looking at what is the text that is written is very important. So that will help in understanding the problem and then also getting a solution. So just try it, and any problems come up, record it and then just put it on the chat or even share it by next class. So next class will be on Tuesday, the 5th of Jan. So then the entire class would just be to talk and solve any problems that come up for the Ubuntu installation. So what we would expect is, so I'll just minimize that and just show this here. Yeah, so there we go. So we would expect you to have a Ubuntu desktop like this, and you should be able to open our terminal. So this is what we would expect, and if you have reached this step, then also just take a screenshot of your screen with the terminal open and then just send it on the chat. So like we would know that you are done with this step, and then you can move on to the next one, or if there's any problem, that also we'll want to know. So yeah. So this is the task assignment for to do in these days, like the weekend before next class. So just go through it, do how much ever you can, and then just come back with at like whatever step you are. Yeah. So I think that's it. We can end the class now.
Okay, any more questions? Okay, do you have any more questions? Okay, if you not able to talk, you can send the message, or okay, or anything that you can just post it on the, is either on the Teams link, I mean channel, or you can get us from email or from the Facebook group or whatever method. Okay, so we have a few channels for you to feedback. So feedback to us, whichever that convenient for you, so that we can keep in touch and see how we can assist you in your development. Okay. Right. So I think that's all for today. Can we close the session?
Yeah, I think that's all we have for today, and we can close the session now.
Okay. Someone sent a message. Someone sent a message. What is that? Can you send the link of install the software on the Mac?
Yeah, I can send the link for that one.
Okay.
The process would be the same, but then like some things on a Mac would be a little bit different. I can send you the link, but also watch the Windows, the 2 videos that are there, because the requirements of how much size you have to allocate and all will be the same. And also one more thing, do you want the dual boot one or the virtual box?
The dual boot one.
Dual boot one, okay. Yeah, so you can try the dual boot first, and then if that does not work out, then you can always try VirtualBox. VirtualBox, I think maximum half an hour to 1 hour, you can just download, set it up, and you will have Ubuntu running.
Okay, right. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, bye everyone.